I wasn't sure how to start this video off. I started and stopped it a couple times because I want to talk about self-love, and I've done other videos on self-love and heart chakras and all kinds of stuff. But I want to talk about chasing self-love today. Chasing it. Not chasing love, which people do, but chasing self-love. Now you might be like, well, what does that mean exactly? Well, it is this notion of us always looking for self-love, looking for something that is already there inside of us and we can't see it, or we don't know how to unravel it. So we're looking for quick fix or easy ways to love ourselves again. We're on the computer, we're on our phone, and we're looking for ways to love ourselves. Really, self-love is, the definition, if you ask me, is coming back to your original self. Your original self. So basically, upon birth, this is what, like going back to ancient Taoism and things like that, and belief systems, upon birth is our original self. And once we are given a name, or once it's a few months into our lives as infants, we start taking on beliefs, we start forming identifications and patterns and things that move us farther away from who we really are. So if you want to get back to a place of self-love, I guess we could go deep here and say that it's about unraveling all those things we've picked up along the way in our journey of life and getting back to the wisdom that is us. But it's more about getting to a place of not only acceptance, but making amends with yourself and forgiving yourself for not loving yourself. For not loving yourself in the past, or not loving yourself right now. And chances are, if you're watching this video, maybe you feel like you need a little more love in your life. Now, it's not, you could put words to it, but it's more of a feeling, right? Love. What is the feeling behind love? So you have to concentrate more on the feeling than the words. And, making amends with yourself, it really is about being okay with this stage of not feeling good within you, and being okay with your so-called flaws, or what you think are flaws in your life, but they're not actually flaws. They're a beautiful thing. And you know why? Because everything that you've labeled, life is just a bunch of labels, right? Reality is a bunch of labels, identifications, and patterns that we've kind of stuck on it. Everything that you've labeled as past mistakes in your life, or maybe you had bad relationships, or stuff that you were very self-deprecating and stuff like that, all those things that you think are bad actually formed into who you are now, and you had to go through those things in order to get to where you are now. I believe everything happens for a reason, whether you do or don't. I don't care. But anyway, it's a beautiful thing, because sometimes we need those things to happen to learn the lesson, to get closer to a place of self-love and our original self, and unraveling stuff. Because if we went through, life is this life is just this physical life is just a bunch of lessons for us to learn. I believe it is. And we gain wisdom along the way of these lessons. So if we went through life and everything was easy, and we were always in this state of feeling high and never low, then we wouldn't know that we were high. Not high in the sense of high, but naturally loving, right? We would never experience that. We wouldn't know what that felt like if we didn't have the lows. You need the highs and lows in life. You need the opposites, the yin and the yang. Now, it's making amends, but it's also realizing that there's many different realities happening based on your perception, people's perception. So just because your reality or what you see yourself as is one way, doesn't mean that it has to stay that way. Like, we're creatures of habit, so we think that, well, because I haven't loved myself in the past, or because I don't love myself now, it's going to be a struggle because it's been so long since I've felt good in my body. But you could switch in an instant. It's about awareness. It's about opening yourself up, forgiving yourself, maybe forgiving others. I don't know, but not looking for the distractions from other people to give you something that you already have inside of yourself. And I know this is going to sound corny and, self-love, and you need to fill up your heart and your spirit, but it really is true, because what is your spirit? What is your soul? That is what is making you glow in life. And I posted a quote yesterday on my social media about how happiness is not, I forget what it was now, but it's not something like, it's hard to find, because it's just this inner glow. It just comes out of you. It's part of your spirit. It's part of you. It's not part of anything that you can find in a book. It's not part of anything that you can find from other people, even though we think that way sometimes because we're trying to fill the void. It's not something you can find through drugs, through alcohol, through food, through skydiving, through anything that you're trying to cover up or distract yourself or escape from getting inside you. Because inside you, it may feel uncomfortable. There's some lows in there because, again, you're untangling yourself, untangling all that stuff you've learned since you were an infant, when you were given a name and you separated yourself from everybody else. So we are the embodiment of love, in case you didn't know. Our physical is the embodiment of love. So we're all unified, we're all one, we're all love, man. But when we're born and we're given the name and we're separated from that, and we get farther and farther and farther and farther away from ourselves. So the goal in life is to then, as you go through lessons in life and you learn and you gain wisdom, to get closer and closer and closer and closer back to that original self. Now, some people are going to stray way far away, and they're going to stay far away because they never want to look inside themselves and deal with themselves or learn any lessons in life, or they don't see the bigger picture. They don't see things from a different perspective. They think that shit just happens to me and life is bad and all this bad stuff is happening, but they don't pull the good and the wisdom out of those bad things that are happening. Whereas somebody else may see the exact same thing, go through the same exact traumas and things like that, and say, okay, if that didn't happen, like, I wouldn't have learned this, or I wouldn't have left that person, or come to this self-realization. It's this self-realization, right? And we get to know ourselves better. Because if we're always ignoring that fact, then we can never get close to that place of self-love, because we're still distracting. We're still coming from a place of ego. We're always searching and hunting. And this is why we're looking up how to love ourselves, and we're looking for the quick fix. We're looking for a pill that's going to make us love ourselves again. But it's not in a pill. It's just about, it's just about like, untangling your own bullshit. It's about not always thinking that you're right or that other people are right, and opening up a little bit, not being so protected all the time. Learning how to receive is key, not always giving, but receiving. So if somebody hands you a compliment, instead of right away complimenting them back because you feel like that's the right thing to do in society, just say thank you. Say thank you and come at it from a place of gratitude in your heart. That is a key to self-love. Anyway, I don't know. I hope this was helpful. Whether it was or whether it wasn't, let me know. You can subscribe. I put out new videos every single week, and I will see you on the next one. So have a great day, and peace.